Well, hey there. Happy Sunday evening. And welcome to Quick Bite History Live, where we do our best to have a little fun with history. You can catch us live normally each Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. We have a challenging show for you here tonight with count them, four fresh new categories all rolled up into one remarkable game show. As usual, you will be watching the robots paint, listening to my clues, and you all will be making your guesses. As we will first count down the 20 most beloved animated films in history. Then we'll test your zoological knowledge with top 20 most fascinating extinct animals. How about that? And then finally, we'll have two top 10 categories. Top 10 ancient architectural sites with unexplained advanced construction. So mysteries of ancient construction. And we will also have the top 10 greatest architects in history. And that's all the way back. No modern ones for us. And if y'all do stick around, we do have a bonus round just in case there's any hardcore enthusiasts later on. Now, please do check in the chat. Say hello. Feel free to comment. If I see a question coming in, I'll do my best to address those as we go. I see the doctor's in the house. Good to see you, doctor. Who, what, where? Good to see you. I know Arena's hiding back there somewhere. There she is. Anyway, good to see you tonight. You guys know the rules. Let's fire up those robots and get them painting here with our first round. And again, this is going to be most beloved animated films in history. All right, well, as I stated, you know the rules. Robots paint, you guess. I do give some clues along the way. And again, we're doing the top 20 most beloved animated films in history. So here we go. This animated film is based on a novel about highly intelligent rodents. The main character is a widowed field mouse trying to save her sick son. A mysterious group of super intelligent rats holds the key to survival. Anybody know? The film was directed by a former Disney animator who wanted to create darker, more mature animation. Not the rescuers. This is not the rescuers. Good cast, though. Good cast. It features one of the most terrifying animated villains, a massive, power-hungry rat named Jenner. I hate the animated rat named Jenner. You don't know who this is. Anybody have a guess? Anybody have a guess? Most beloved, and this is number 20, so it's not the most beloved. It's the 20th most beloved. This is The Secret of Nim. Secret of Nim. Does that sound familiar? This movie was Don Bluth's directorial debut after leaving Disney. There you go. Next up, I bet you know this one. The main character is an unlikely hero who loves eating dumplings. The film blends Chinese culture with martial arts in a beautifully animated setting. It features a wise red panda and an ancient prophecy. I think we're going to get this one. The protagonist trains under the Furious Five, a group of skilled warriors. There you go. Stuart's on the board. Good to see you, Stuart. Yes, Doctor has it as well. The hero is a clumsy panda who becomes the legendary dragon warrior. There you go. And yes, this is the Kung Fu Panda. The Kung Fu Panda. Any guesses on what year they made the Kung Fu Panda? For bonus points. The animators took real Kung Fu classes to make the fight scenes more authentic. Anybody know? What year Kung Fu Panda was made? No guesses, huh? Oh, okay, well, good guess, Jan. Good guess. Doctor hits it on the button. 2008. Nice. Okay, this one's a little more obscure. Let's see if you can get this. This is from the year 1999. This film is set in the 1950s during the Cold War era. The main character is a young boy who befriends an enormous robot. The giant has an innocent heart, but is feared as a weapon. The movie carries an anti-war message and questions what it means to be a hero. That's really close, Stuart. Almost. That's almost the right answer. It's really close. The robot's famous line, "You are who you choose to be." Yes, okay, there you go. Okay. Stuart does know it. It's the Iron Giant. Now, is this bigger over the pond? Because this wasn't, I don't know, was this that big in the States? I'm not sure. I don't remember it. The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant was voiced by Vin Diesel. Did you know that? I was just watching Fast and the Furious. Years before he became famous for Fast and Furious. So before. There you go. The Iron Giant. Very good. That might be the hardest one of the batch. All right, here's number 17. This animated film was a surprise hit despite being based on a toy. It features a construction worker who discovers he is part of a bigger destiny. I think we know this. The story takes place in a world where everything follows strict rules. A hilarious, fast-talking character voiced by Will Arnett steals the show. There you go. What was it called? What was the movie called? The theme song is ridiculously catchy. Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. I can't place it, but Lego the movie. Stuart. That's not it, I don't think. I think it's just the Lego movie. I think it's just the Lego movie. The Lego movie. 2014. I like the way you say it though. Lego the movie. I like that better. Nearly everything was designed to look like real Legos. And the animation mimics stop motion. There you go. The Lego movie. All right. So we're going to get very picky on these. All right. We were just watching this one this morning at my house. Had the granddaughters over. The movie is based on a book series featuring Vikings. The main character struggles to fit in with his warrior clan. He befriends a creature that everyone else fears. His dragon has a unique cat-like personality and a missing tail fin. Anybody remember this one? There you go. That is a perfect answer. Any guesses on the year that this was made, maybe? The dragon's name is Toothless, and he becomes his writer's best friend. And yes, you do have it correct. How to Train Your Dragon. And fun fact, toothless movements were inspired by real cats and dogs to make him feel more lifelike. There you go. How to Train Your 2011. Pretty close. 2010. Very close. Very close. Aren't they doing like a remake right now? I'm not sure about that, but don't quote me on that. But might be. Now we're going to get into some classics. This film was first animated feature ever nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Its famous ballroom scene was groundbreaking for its use of CGI. The protagonist is an intelligent young woman who loves books. I wonder what this one is. The villain is a vain, arrogant hunter obsessed with winning her love. Yes. Very good, Stuart and the Doctor. I guess we'll give it to Stuart since he capitalized it. Yes, you both have it correct. The story revolves around a cursed princess who must learn to love before the last petal falls. There you go, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast. Everybody's got it. Can you imagine what year this was? Tell me what year you think this one was. And of course, the main character is Bella, and that is one of my granddaughters who's here today. My oldest granddaughter. That's right, Beauty and the Beast. 1991. 1991. All right. Get a little more modern. Excuse me. This film's soundtrack was written in part by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It was inspired by Polynesian mythology and culture. The main character is drawn to the ocean, even though her people fear venturing beyond the reef. Close, Doctor. She embarks on a journey to restore the heart of a goddess. She's accompanied by a shape-shifting demigod named Maui. And that's voiced by The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Maui is The Rock. Close, but I don't see the correct answer yet. That's close, but it is incorrect. The animators actually took sailing lessons to understand how ancient Polynesians navigated the ocean. Well, that's close too, Jan. That's close. It's Moana. Moana. That sound familiar now? Moana, 2016. You know that's why. Number 13. This film's opening scene is one of the most heartbreaking in animation history. The main character has a physical disability, one smaller fin. A forgettable blue fish with a lovable personality helps on a grand adventure. The father and son are separated, and the journey is about their reunion. There you go. Very good, Stuart. Very good. Very good. The famous address, P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. I guess in the movie they show that address over and over, or read that address. I don't know what that means. The voice of Dory, Ellen DeGeneres, ad-libbed many of her funniest lines. Yeah, I think everybody knows this one. This is the first one, though. So it is not Finding Dory, it is Finding Nemo, which many of you had correct. Finding Nemo, And this is all the way back in 2003. 2003. There you go. Okay, this one's a little tougher. Let's see you get this one. A little more obscure, but has become popular over the years. This beloved Japanese film was directed by a legendary animator. It features two sisters who moved to the countryside with their father. The magical forest is home to strange but friendly spirits. A giant, fluffy creature with wide eyes and a big grin is the most famous character. The movie's most iconic scene is riding the cat bus. The cat bus. Now, oh yeah, I'd be stumped by this as well. So I don't blame you guys for being stumped by this one. But apparently this has become very popular over the years. This was made all the way back in 1988. 1988. One of the most beloved in history. I stumped you. That's good. This one's called My Neighbor Totoro. Ring a bell? No, it didn't ring a bell for me either. My Neighbor Totoro, 1988. Totoro has no official species. He is simply described as a forest spirit. Okay. Guarantee you know this one. This film revived Disney animation after a struggling period. This was the big comeback. The main character is a princess who longs to explore the human world. A wicked sea witch offers her a dangerous bargain. Yes, of course. A Shih Tzu gnat is in the house. Doctor! Yes, this is. You are correct. The film features some of the most famous Disney songs ever written. And this was the big comeback for Disney animation. The protagonist's name is Ariel, or Ariel if you prefer. And she trades her voice for legs. She trades her voice for legs. How sad. This is The Little Mermaid. 1989. 1989. Ariel's design was inspired by actress Alyssa Milano. Really? Okay. Okay. Her design was inspired by actress Alyssa Milano. There it is. The Little Mermaid. 1989. Disney's big comeback. All right, speaking of big animated movies, this movie blends superhero action with family life. It's set in a world where heroes have been forced into hiding. The main character has superhuman strength, but his wife and kids have powers too. You guys watched this a few times? I did. A baby unexpectedly turns out to be the most powerful of all. Oh no, the baby's powerful. Correct. Dr. Stewart, you've got it. You've got it. Where's my super suit? One of the most quoted lines from the film. Yes, it was. And this is The Incredibles. Anybody got a guess on what year The Incredibles came out? Any guesses? The director, Brad Bird, also voiced the eccentric fashion designer Edna Mode. That's right. That's right. They have the eccentric fashion designer as a character in the movie. Forgot about that. The Incredibles. Oh, very close. Very close. 2005 is as close as you can get. 2004. Very close. All right. You guys are pretty good at this. And I bet you know the next one too. This was the first fully computer animated feature film ever made. It explores what toys do when humans aren't around. The main characters start as rivals, but later become best friends. One is a cowboy, and the other is a space ranger. The famous line, "To infinity and beyond." Yes. Oh, you've all got this. I guess I should have got it first. Stuart, Doctor. The voice of Woody, Tom Hanks, improvised many of his lines to make the dialogue feel more natural. Toy Story. Any guesses on what year? Any guesses on what year they made Toy Story, which was one of the first computer animated feature films? First computer animated feature film. I guess that was by the Steve Jobs company, right? What was that? I forget what the company was called. Oh, 2001. No, it was before that. Before that. 1995. 1995. There you go. All right, we're down to number 8. Slightly more obscure, but I like this movie. The opening sequence of this film is considered one of the most emotional in animation history. The main character is a grumpy old man with an adventurous past. He ties thousands of balloons to his house to embark on a journey. Yeah, you got it. Roach is in the house. Who let the roach in? That's correct. You are correct. A chubby Boy Scout tags along for adventure. The house floats all the way to South America. Very good. The filmmaker studied real balloons physics to calculate how many would be needed to lift a house. I would say quite a few would be needed to lift a house. How many balloons do you think it would take to lift a house? What do you mean they studied real physics to figure out how many balloons? That doesn't make any sense. All right, up is the correct answer. Up. 2009 was the year. 2009. All right. That was an interesting movie. Slow in parts, but kind of off the wall, right? Here's a classic. This classic Disney movie is known for its breathtaking hand-drawn animation. The main character grows up in the forest and is surrounded by woodland friends. One of the film's most tragic moments involves the lead character's mother. His best friends include a rabbit named Thumper and a skunk named Flower. Jungle Book? No, it's not Jungle Book. All right. Yeah, we thought we had a ringer, Roach, but no, we don't. The film follows a fawn as he matures. It is a he, I guess. Did you know Bambi was a he? As he matures into the great prince of the forest. Bambi. Who knows what year Bambi was? Who knows what year? Walt Disney had his animators study real deer to perfect Bambi's movements. So they did some research. Anybody know the year? Going once. Going twice. 1942. Oh, go ahead. Doctor. Very close. We'll give it to you for that. Yeah, all you guys are close. 42. Very good. All right, you know this one. This movie is a blend of Halloween and Christmas themes. It was created using stop-motion animation, which took years to complete. The main character is a skeletal figure who wears a pinstripe suit. Hmm. He tries to take over Christmas, but things go horribly wrong. Yes. There you go. There you go. Doctor had the character, but Bells has the answer. Speaking of Bella, you are correct. You are correct. And his name is Jack Skellington. You're right. You're right. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton didn't direct this film. Henry Selick did. But Burton created the original concept. Did you know that? That Tim Burton actually didn't direct that first one? Interesting. Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas is correct. All right, okay, Smarty Pants, let's see you get the next one. Number 5. This is one of the most critically acclaimed animated films ever made. So that's something. The protagonist is a young girl trapped in a magical world. She encounters strange spirits and creatures, including a faceless entity. She works in a bathhouse run by a witch. That's different, I'd say. The film's title refers to how she loses her real name and must earn it back. Now, does anybody? So this is a little more recent, 2001. Okay, I'm going to give you the year, 2001, and it was the only non-English, so it was subtitled, animated film to win the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. It won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature in 2001. Any guesses? Any guesses at all? I stumped you. I'm so happy. Spirited Away. Spirited Away. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Spirited Away. Maybe not. Okay. Well, you're going to know this one. Number 4. This movie is based on a story from 1001 Nights. The main character is a poor but kind-hearted young man. He finds a magical lamp with a powerful inhabitant. Very good. Bells. You're too good. He falls in love with a princess, but pretends to be a prince. Now, Robin Williams does the voice as the genie, and he does steal the show. Yes, correct. Everybody's got it. This is indeed Aladdin. Robin Williams improvised so many lines that the film couldn't be nominated for a screenplay Oscar. No, because none of the lines were written down. So how could it be nominated for a screenplay? Bummer. The poor guy who wrote the screenplay lost out because Robin Williams didn't read his lines. That's funny. All right, top 3. We're down to the top 3. This Disney film is loosely based on Hamlet. It features a royal family of animals. The villain's name means scar in Swahili. The hero's journey includes exile and self-discovery. Correct. Stuart, I think you got it first. But we're all playing as a team here. The opening song, The Circle of Life, Very popular. Who knows the year for The Lion King? The Lion King. Who knows the year? The famous wildebeest stampede scene took 3 years to animate. Now, I didn't know that. So I don't even remember. I must have watched parts of this many times with my kids growing up. But I do not remember the famous wildebeest stampede scene. Took 3 years to animate. 92, 93, all both good guesses. 1994. 1994. There you go. 1994, The Lion King. Top 2. This one always is so obvious because the character is so recognizable. This film satirizes fairy tale cliches. Its main character is a grumpy but lovable green creature. How about we name the various actors playing the voices? And of course, we'll need the year as well. The loud and hilarious sidekick never stops talking. Yes, the donkey. Who plays the donkey? It features a princess with a secret. And the band Smash Mouth All-Star plays in the opening scene. How about that? Correct. Correct you all are. Correct you all are. This is Mr. Shrek. And Eddie Murphy is indeed the donkey. Or the jackass. The film's animation was so detailed that animators had to create separate programs just for rendering mud. Huh. So anyway, they took the animation a long ways in this. Who knows the year? Anybody know the year that Shrek was made? Sounds like it took a long time in animation. All right, we're down to the top one. Top one. 2001 was the year. 2001. Top animated film of all time. This was the first feature-length animated film ever made. It introduced the concept of Disney princesses. The villain is one of the Disney's most iconic evil queens. Yes, you are correct. The Ringer is back. Dr. Bells, everybody knows. The protagonist befriends a small group of small, lovable characters. The Magic Mirror, Poisoned Apple, and Hi-Ho song make it unforgettable. Who knows the year? Who knows the year? Walt Disney, listen to this. Walt Disney had to mortgage his house in order to finish this film. And it was called Disney's Folly until it became a massive success. No wonder he named all the stuff in Disneyland after this. He had mortgaged his house. He needed to leverage that thing. Snow White, classic movie. Still not bad to watch. Anybody know the year? Any guesses? Any guesses on the year as we close out that category? You guys did pretty well. That wasn't too hard. The categories get harder and harder tonight. The year was 1937, in case you're actually interested. 36, good guess. Good guess. Very close. All right, so now we're going to do the top most fascinating extinct animals. Anybody know their extinct animals very well? All right. I think you know the rules. Robots pay, you guess. I give some clues along the way. These tend to not get any easier or any harder as we go. We're just going to start with number 20. Oh, they go in years. So this is the most recent Well, not quite the most recent, but almost the most recent extinction. This species belonged to a deer family, but was much larger than modern deer. It roamed across Europe and Asia during the Ice Age. Its primary predators included early humans and large Ice Age carnivores. Oh, how'd you know? Very good. Good answer. Sure. Some scientists believe its enormous headgear may have played a role in its extinction. Oh, interesting. It had antlers spanning up to 12 feet across, making it the largest deer species ever. And it is indeed, you are correct, the Irish elk. Who wants to give me the Latin scientific name? Let's see you get that one. Who has the scientific name? This is the Megaloceros giganteus. Extinct for 7,700 years. 7,700 years ago. Despite its name, the Irish elk wasn't exclusive to Ireland. It lived across Eurasia. All right, next up. This one went extinct in 1914. This bird once farmed the largest flocks in history, darkening the sky for hours. It was native to North America and played an important role in the ecosystem. Yes, tip of your tongue, I'm sure. I'm only going to accept the scientific names. By the late 1800s, its number had plummeted due to overhunting. The last known individual lived in a zoo. Her name was Martha, and she died in 1914, making the species extinct. This bird once darkened the skies for hours. Yeah, Stuart. Correct. You are correct. No, that would be scary. Darkening the sky. The passenger pigeon. Ectopistus migratorius. Ectopistus migratorius. There you go. Number 18. Coming up. This marine mammal was a close relative of today's manatees. It was discovered by a naturalist in the Arctic waters of the Bering Sea. So this one went extinct in 1768. 1768. It had no ability to submerge, making it an easy target for hunters. Within just 27 years of its discovery, it was completely wiped out. It reached an enormous size. Some of these guys were over 30 feet long and weighed several tons, I bet. Yeah, chubby. Anybody know what this is? I'll give you the scientific name. It is the Hydrodomalus gigas. Hydrodomalus gigas. It has a more common name. It's called Steller's sea cow. Steller's sea cow. Rings a bell now, right? Unlike its modern relatives, the Steller's sea cow had no teeth, relying on tough lips to feed on kelp. No teeth, just tough lips. Now, some of these are going to be easy, some of these are going to be hard. Okay? Just the way it is. This animal was a subspecies of the plains zebra. Unlike zebras, it only had stripes on its head and neck, and it was brown in the back. It once roamed the grasslands of South Africa. It was hunted extensively by European settlers in the 19th century, extinct in 1883. The last known individual died in a zoo in 1883. Anybody know what the name of this guy was? I'm not even sure I'm going to attempt the scientific name on this one. Zebra, I like that. I like that. But that's incorrect. It's called the quagga. Does that ring a bell? Quagga. Quagga. And the scientific name is Equus quagga quagga. There you go. The quagga is the first extinct animal whose DNA was analyzed, leading to an effort to breed it back using selective breeding. So they're bringing this one back. How about that? There you go. Number 16. This prehistoric creature looked like an armored tank. It was a close relative of modern armadillos. It roamed South America during the Ice Age. Early humans likely used its massive shell for shelter. This thing is big. If you saw like a human next to this, the human it's about half as tall as it. It was the size of a small car, like a Volkswagen, with a club-like tail for defense. But it was a mammal. Despite its heavy armor, it was an herbivore. So it didn't need people, so that's good. Anybody got a guess on this one? Does it ring a bell to anybody? Humans use the shell for shelter. It's the size of a Volkswagen. It's actually been extinct for a while. 10,000 years ago it went extinct. So when the humans first started coming over to North America, it's called a glyptodon. A glyptodon, of course. And it doesn't need a scientific name because that's hard enough. All right, number 15. This one's kind of cool looking. This marsupial predator was native to Australia and Tasmania. It had a dog-like appearance, but was not a canine. It was also called the Tasmanian tiger due to its striped back. The last known individual, whose name was Benjamin, died in captivity in 1936, so relatively recently. It was one of the only marsupials where both males and females had pouches. Yeah, well, Tasmanian tiger is kind of correct. It has another name. Anybody want to guess what the other name is? Let's just say Tasmanian tiger was correct. You guys are both correct. And we'll move on. It was also called a thylacine. Thylacine? Thylacine. Thylacine. Okay. Extinct in 1936. Tasmanian tiger. Despite being declared extinct, people have seen them recently. Oh, there you go. Maybe not. All right, number 14. This was the only seal species native to the Caribbean. It had no fear of humans, making it easy to hunt. That would make you easy to hunt. It was overhunted for its blubber, which was used to make oil. By the early 1900s, sightings were extremely rare. It was officially declared extinct in 1952. Well, doctor, that is actually correct. However, it has another little name that is a little more familiar. But Caribbean something seal. Caribbean blank seal is what I'm looking for. Unlike many seals, the Caribbean blank seal preferred warm tropical waters instead of cold environments. This is the seal that likes the warm water, like the rest of us, like the humans. Anybody have a guess? What else was it called? It's called a monk seal, but it is the Caribbean monk seal. Okay, there you go. Extinct in 1952. Pretty recent. Pretty darn recent. All right, I think you'll know this one. This is kind of familiar. In the extinction world, this large flightless bird lived only on one island. It had no natural predators until humans arrived. Sailors introduced rats and other invasive species that ate the eggs of this bird. Bummer. It became a symbol of extinction due to human impact. Yeah, that's how I remember it. This is the symbol of extinction. Yeah, correct, Stuart. You are correct. Good looking guy, right? Very strange looking bird. The closest living relative of the dodo is the Nicobar pigeon. Nicobar pigeon. Dodo, the Rufus cuculatus. Rufus cuculatus, of course. Extinct in 1681. So way back. First sailors got to see him, but that's it. Nobody else got to see him. Yeah. Number 13. The dodo bird. All right, we got 12 more. Here we go. This Ice Age giant was covered in thick fur for survival in cold climates. Its long curved horn helped it dig through snow to find food. It roamed Europe and Siberia alongside the mammoths. Mammoth, close. It's not a mammoth though. It was hunted by early humans as seen in prehistoric cave paintings. It disappeared at the end of the last ice age. Behemoth. I like that name. Is that a real name? This is the behemoth. No. Can you see the horn in the front, guys? Can you see that? Yeah, the doctor. Is that the other name for the woolly rhino? Is the behemoth? This is the woolly rhinoceros. Coleodonta antiquus. 10,000 years ago, it went extinct. Woolly rhino. There he is. He is woolly. Number 11. This guy's pretty cool. This was the largest eagle ever known. It's as tall as a man. It lived in New Zealand and preyed on large flightless birds. It had a wingspan of 10 feet. It went extinct after humans hunted its primary food source, the giant moa. Thai stew. Never heard of that. That sounds cool though. Anybody know? Anybody know? Legends among the Maori people, Maori people, so I've said probably Maori people, describe a giant man-eating eagle. This is the man-eating eagle. Oh no. It went extinct in 1400, fortunately. Yeah, Stuart. Very good. Very good. Is that somebody's name? Haast's eagle? The scientific name is Hieratus mori. Okay, there you go. Host eagle. All right, next up. This flightless bird lived in the cold waters of the North Atlantic. It was an excellent swimmer, using its wings like modern penguins. It was overhunted for its meat, feathers, and oil. The last two recorded individuals were killed by collectors in 1844. It looked like a penguin, but it was not related to them. Really? Okay. Kind of looks like a penguin. Not related. Unrelated. This flightless bird lived in the cold waters of the North Atlantic. Gary Larson's penguin. This is known as the Great Auk. Ring a bell? A-U-K. Great Auk. The Great Auk inspired the name penguin for the birds of the southern hemisphere. How do you figure? Great Auk inspired the name penguin. Don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe you guys get it. Great Auk. Number 9. That was number 10. We're down to number 9. This guy was extinct in 1400 also. Went extinct at the same time as those big birds. These were enormous flightless birds native to New Zealand. Some species reached up to 12 feet tall, the tallest birds to ever live. They were completely defenseless against predators. Overhunting by the Maori led to their rapid extinction. I don't know, it's kind of abstract. I'm not sure the robots are doing is getting good here, but can you imagine this guy 12 foot tall? That would be scary. They were the primary prey of the host eagle. Like we said. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. It is the moa, otherwise known as Dinor nithiformis. Nithiformis. Extinct in 1400 CE. There you go. Moa had no wings at all, unlike most flightless birds that still have small wings. He didn't have any wings. How can you call him a bird? I guess he only has 2 legs. I don't know. I don't get it. All right, let's look at this cool cat. This Ice Age predator was not actually a tiger. It had enormous curved canine teeth for taking down prey. It primarily hunted large mammals like bison and young mammoths. It lived in North and South America before vanishing. It is often depicted fighting mammoths in prehistoric art. So, I think, yes, saber-toothed cat is the other name, but what's the familiar name of these guys? Saber-toothed cat is correct, but it has another name. Does anybody remember the other name for this character? It's kind of a cool name, actually. Anybody know? Going once, going twice. This is Mr. Smilodon. Smilodon. I love that name. Smilodon's bite was weaker than a modern lion's. Its killing technique relied on slicing rather than crushing. He was more of a slicer and a dicer. Okay. Number 7. This species lived in the Galapagos Islands. It was one of the longest living reptiles, surviving over a century. Looks like a dinosaur. This species declined due to overhunting and habitat destruction, like they all do. The last known individual was a global symbol of conservation. He only died in 2012, the last one. He lived for a long time by himself, though. His name was Lonesome George. Yeah. This guy's related to Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg's more of a lizard. This is more of a turtle. Poor Lonesome George. He never produced any offspring. Hence, they went extinct. I don't know if they were called giant tortoise. I think the giant tortoise are still around. This is the Pinta Island tortoise, also known as Chelonitis abingdoni. I think I butchered the Latin. Okay, well, we got to move on. We need to move on. This was the largest marsupial species to ever exist. It looked like a giant wombat or oversized koala. It roamed Australia during the Ice Age. Early human settlers may have contributed to its extinction. Some individuals grew over 13 feet long and weighed over 2,500 pounds. I don't think I'd like to see that. Aboriginal legends describe a creature called the Bunyip, which may have been inspired by this guy. He went extinct a long time ago, though. 46,000 years ago. He's an ugly dude. I wouldn't like to see him if he's 13 feet long, though. That doesn't sound good. This was called a Diprotodon. Diprotodon. That rings a bell, right? Marsupial. Yeah, we're down to the top 5. I don't know if they're the top 5. The last 5 on my list. I guess going back in time the most. This was the largest shark species to ever live. It lived in the oceans around the world during the Miocene and Pliocene epochs. Miocene and Pliocene, if you're familiar with your epochs. It was an apex predator eating whales and giant fish. Yes, indeed. You are correct. Did you see the movie, Meg? Was there a Meg and a Meg 2? I don't know if there's been a Meg 2. Meg, it wasn't a bad movie. It's kind of entertaining. Its teeth were as big as a human hand. It grew up to 60 feet long, 3 times the size of a great white shark. Some people still believe Megalodon is alive today, but scientists have found no proof. Megalodon. Meg 2. Jason. Yeah. Good flex. Megalodon. All right, number 4. This creature is not quite as scary. These creatures lived in the ancient oceans for over 270 million years. And I actually have a number of fossils from these guys. They were some of the first arthropods related to modern crabs and insects. They had hard exoskeletons that fossilized easily. Ah, that's the reason they're around. Okay. They disappeared during the Permian Triassic extinction. Now, that was the worst mass extinction in Earth's history. Permian Triassic extinction. No, not correct. It's not mollusks. Hey, walnuts. What's going on, man? What's going on? No, is that another name for him? I don't think so, Doctor. Oh, yeah, that is. I'm sorry. You are correct, Doctor. You are correct. Trilobite is indeed correct. Trilobite. They've been extinct for 252 million years, though. So if you're lucky enough to find a fossil, some trilobites had crystal-like eyes, giving them excellent vision in deep water. That's a little known fact. There's some trivia for you. Top 3. This prehistoric flying reptile lived during the late Cretaceous. I'm sorry. Didn't say that properly. Cretaceous. It was not a dinosaur, but a type of pterosaur. You don't pronounce the P. Pterosaur. It had a massive wingspan of up to 33 feet. Its sharp beak was perfect for catching fish. Just dive down and stab them. The name means toothless wing, as it had no teeth. No teeth. Pterodactyl is not quite correct. I'm thinking this was pre-pterodactyl or post-pterodactyl, one or the other. Maybe this is the Pteranodon. So Pteranodon. Pteranodon. Or pteranodon. It's been extinct for 66 million years. Fortunately. All right, top 2 extinct animals. I think you'll know this one. These giant relatives of modern elephants roamed the Ice Age tundras. They had long, curved tusks that helped them forage in the snow. They coexisted with early humans who hunted them for food and materials. Correct, Stuart. You are correct. Some survived an isolated Arctic island thousands of years longer than mainland relatives. Some survived a long time. The last known population lived on Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean until about 4,000 years ago. So they lived quite a while. Scientists are working on cloning the mammoths using preserved DNA. Yeah, that's what you were saying. They're very good. Yeah, that'd be cool, huh? Let's bring them back. Why not? Why not? Why not? They're doing a new Jurassic Park, right? We're going to have another one. There's a new Jurassic Park movie coming out. Speaking of that, number 1 with a bullet. This is one of the most famous dinosaurs of all time. It had tiny arms, but an incredibly strong bite force. It lived in North America during the late Cretaceous period. It could bite through bone with its powerful jaws. Yes, indeed. Its name means Tyrant Lizard King. and it ruled the prehistoric world. Yes, it did. T-Rex had excellent vision and a keen sense of smell, making it one of the most formidable predators in history. It can see you and it can smell you. Now, they're not talking about the hearing. Does anybody know? Was their hearing good too? Or I guess it didn't need to be. Excellent rendition robots. That is a good T-Rex. Nice job. Nice job. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the extinct animals. So now the next two rounds are only 10 items each. So I kind of want you to pay attention to whether you kind of like 10 items only each. You probably will, because it'll be harder. I wouldn't doubt, but you like it. So what we're going to do is talk. We don't want to step on my new intro. Top 10 ancient architecture sites with unexplained advanced construction. Do you understand that? So this is like, we can't figure out how they built this. This is like, how'd they do this? Or did they get help? This mysterious site is located in an underground catacomb in Egypt. It houses gigantic granite sarcophagi, some weighing up to 80 tons. The boxes were carved with incredible precision, polished smooth inside and out. Experts are baffled by how much precision was achieved with ancient tools. Some believe these black granite boxes were not actually used as tools. Yeah, I'm going to know more because I'm reading it right to you guys. I'm going to know a lot more. Anyway, these are the things that we can't explain how they built them so far back. Was there an ancient culture that had better tools? Was there aliens that helped them? What's the story? So anyway, that's what all these are. So if there's any experts out there, you're going to know these. This is the top 10. Top 10 unexplained. This is the black boxes of Serapeum. Serapeum. Black boxes of Serapeum. Not familiar? No. Okay, that's all right. It's in Egypt, and they think whoever put them together in 1300 BCE. All right. Well, you didn't know that one. See if you know this one. Number 9. This structure is a 3-level underground complex carved entirely from limestone. It was used for burials and religious ceremonies. Its curved chambers and tunnels have incredible acoustics, amplifying sound in eerie ways. So they think somebody knew what they were doing. No one knows exactly how ancient builders created such smooth, precise underground spaces. How'd they carve them out? Don't know. Some theorists believe it was designed to alter human consciousness through sound. Well, that sounds weird. I guess you gotta be there. The Oracle Room produces strange acoustic effects when sound is made inside. Does it sound familiar to anybody? Oh, Wu-Tang Chambers. I like that. Wu-Tang. Isn't that a band? The Wu-Tang group or something? I think that's a band. This place is known as the Hypogeum of Halsaflieni. It's in Malta. And this is all the way back at 4000 BCE. So anyway, they can't figure out how they carved all these things. Pretty weird, huh? Anyway. There you go. That's number 9. See, I knew you're going to be happy there's only 10 of these. Maybe this is more familiar. This ancient site was built by the Incas in the Andean Mountains. It features massive stones that fit together with perfect precision without mortar. The stones were transported over mountains and rivers with no clear explanation of how they transported the stones. The site served as a fortress and a religious center. Some stones weigh over 50 tons, and hence the mystery. They lift them up over steep mountain peaks and down rivers. Unexplainable. Some believe this place's construction predates the Incas, that this actually isn't the Incas, that this is some culture lost before the Incas. Machu Picchu is always a good guess when the Incas are involved, but it's incorrect. This actually has a cool name. This is called Ollantaytambo. Ollantaytambo, Peru. So they're discovering more and more stuff in Peru these days. I would love to go to Peru and see some of this stuff. This would be cool to see. Am I right? 15th century CE, they say, but it could have been before. They don't know. All right, we're going to revisit some place that we've revisited before. This city belonged to one of the world's oldest known civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization. It had a grid-like layout, much like modern cities. The inhabitants had advanced drainage and plumbing systems far ahead of their time. This is the plumber guy, the good plumbers. No palaces or royal tombs have been found, suggesting a more equal society. No kings. Its name means mounds of the dead, as it was abandoned mysteriously. No one knows what language the Indus people spoke. Their script remains undecipherable to this day. Do you remember the name of this place? That had the plumbing, good plumbing. And this is old. This is 2600 BCE. So this is like Sumerian age. This is like way back. Oh, there you go, Muid. Muid knows the answer. It's Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro's in Pakistan. 2600 BCE. And I guess nobody still knows the language. Nobody's deciphered the script yet. I don't know if that's still true. Seems like with AI, they ought to be able to figure out the script. Yeah. Anyway, let's do the next one. This one's weird. This one's strange. This strange structure is carved from a single giant block of stone. It has 2 square holes on top and a sloping ship-like shape. No one knows its purpose or origin. It doesn't match any other structures in Japan. Some believe it was an ancient astronomical device. It's located in the mysterious Asuka region, known for its unexplained stone monuments. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. That's a new effect. You like the new effect? Anybody know? Anybody know what this one is? This one's weird, right? Am I right? The precision of its cuts suggests knowledge of advanced stone carving techniques lost to history. That's kind of the theme of the show here. This category's theme. Technology lost to history. No guesses, huh? Well, this is the rock ship Masuda. The rock ship Masuda. It's in Japan. Yeah, they don't know how old it is. They think maybe it's around 100 CE. They're not sure. Okay. Weird. All right. Speaking of Peru, how about we go next door to Bolivia, right next to Lake Titicaca. This site contains some of the most precisely cut stone blocks in the world. The stones are made of andesite, one of the hardest rocks on Earth. Many blocks have perfect 90-degree cuts and interlocking shapes. Some stones weigh over 100 tons, but their transport method is unknown. The site's mysterious H-shaped stones remain one of archaeologists' biggest puzzles. I'd say so. What the heck? What the heck? This is they think it's somewhere around 500 CE, but they don't know. They don't know all of it. The level of precision of this place will be difficult even with modern laser cutting tools. No, it's not Machu Picchu. This is in Bolivia on the shores of Lake Titicaca, and I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. How did they do that? What is the story there? It has a pretty well-known name, but it's not Machu Picchu, but it's a cool name like that. It's called Puma Punku. Puma Punku. Puma Punku, Bolivia. There you go. Weird, huh? Very weird. Very weird. Now we all know this one. So we did the black boxes at the beginning, but now we're back to the one you guys wanted to name. This is the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. It was the tallest man-made structure for over 3,800 years. It contains 2.3 million limestone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons. The pyramid is aligned almost perfectly with true north with minimal error. 2580 BCE. No one fully understands how the blocks were lifted into place over 4,500 years ago. Yes, this is the pyramids of Giza, and it made our list of top 10 mysterious ancient constructions, and nobody can figure out how they built them. The internal temperature of the pyramid remains constant, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, no matter how hot it is outside. Which, there you go, that's nice. If they let anybody go inside, that would be nice. Nice. There's some good trivia facts, Stuart. Thank you. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It was the tallest structure in the world for 3,800 years. Amazing. Okay, top three mysteries. Here we go. This site contains some of the largest stones ever used in construction. The famous Stone of the Pregnant Woman, that's kind of funny, weighs over 1,200 tons. The Romans later built the Temple of Jupiter on top of these megalithic foundations. So somebody put the big ones in first. They don't know who. And then the Romans built some stuff on top. The purposes of the original massive stone is still debated. Some believe the earliest bulbous structures predate recorded history. Fun fact, no modern crane can lift the largest stones at Baalbek, making their transport an enduring mystery. So I gave you the answer there. This is at Baalbek, Lebanon, and these are the big stones in the foundation. And nobody can figure it out. They think that maybe they were carved in 9000 BCE. I don't know. That's old. Nobody has any idea how they move these things. No modern crane can move them now. I don't know how they know the time. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to do some research on that. Okay, top two. We're going back to Peru, and another reason I want to go to Peru. This place looks amazing. This fortress sits high in the Andes Mountains above Cusco, Peru. It was built using massive interlocking stones that fit together perfectly. The construction was so precise that you can't fit a piece of paper between the stones. The site is earthquake resistant despite no mortar being used. Some of the stones weigh over 200 tons, yet were somehow moved up steep hills. Yeah. Well, that new effect did something, huh? It looks like the aliens did it. Anybody know the name of this place? This is outside of Cusco, Peru. They think this was built around 1100 CE, but they're still mystified by how they used such large stones and cut them so perfectly, cut and stacked them so perfectly. This is known as Sacsayhuaman. Oh, that's easy enough to say. Sacsayhuaman. Sacsayhuaman was built by, some say that it was built by giants. Now, there are some theories about the giants, right? The giants have a biblical name. I'm not placing it. Anybody know the biblical name for giants? Anybody know that? I don't know. Well, you guys know the last one. This is a mystery as well. This famous stone circle is one of the most mysterious landmarks. The blue stones used in its construction were transported over 150 miles. The site is aligned with astronomical events such as the summer solstice. The exact method used to move and lift the massive stones is unknown. And no written record exists about how it was built or why it was built. Correct. Oh, thank you, Doctor, for the giant's name. Nephilim. Something like that. I'm going to look up the pronunciation. I'll have to do a video on the giants building the pyramids. And of course, it's in Stonehenge. Recent discoveries suggest Stonehenge may have been part of a much larger ceremonial landscape stretching for miles. Stonehenge, England. They don't know, but maybe as old as 3000 BCE, which is back there. That's a ways back. That is a ways back there. Anyway, so we're done with that category. So that wasn't too long, right? So 10 items isn't bad, especially on the difficult category. It's particularly useful. I do have one more regular category. And this again is going to be 10 items. Let me fire it up. This is going to be So category number 4, this is the top 10 greatest architects in history. So this is not going to be as hard as the architects category we did way back when, because this is the most famous through history. Okay, so the 10th one is probably the hardest. And I think you're going to get some of them. This architect was originally trained as a goldsmith before revolutionizing architecture. His greatest achievement was an engineering breakthrough in dome construction. He rediscovered and applied linear perspective to Renaissance architecture. His most famous work stands in Florence, Italy. He's the one who designed the dome of the Florence Cathedral, which had baffled engineers for a century. This is not Leonardo. This is a different architect. This is the guy who did the beautiful cathedral in Florence. And it was the first time anybody did a big old dome like it in a long time, since the Romans. And it was actually built without scaffolding. You can believe that. Anybody know? Any guesses? Going once, going twice. This is Mr. Filippo Brunelleschi. Filippo Brunelleschi, 1377 to 1446. Florence Cathedral. No scaffold. There you go. This name may be familiar. There's quite a bit of his architecture in jolly old England. This architect's works focused on symmetry, proportion, and harmony. He was inspired by ancient Roman architecture. His designs became a blueprint for classical architecture throughout Europe and America. So his stuff was really the basis for classical architecture, basically. His most famous book, The Four Books of Architecture, influenced architects for centuries. His name inspired the term Palladian architecture. Ever heard of that? Palladian architecture. Seen in famous buildings such as the White House. Who knows who this is? Anybody guess? So basically all of classical architecture was based on this guy's designs during the Renaissance. Okay, you're gonna learn something. This is Andrea Palladio. Palladio, that ring a bell to anybody? Palladio, Palladian architecture. Palladio's villa designs were so influential that Thomas Jefferson based his whole Monticello on the principle. That's right. Andre Palladio. Okay, I think they're going to get easier. Don't know for sure. Maybe. You might know this guy. He was not just an architect, but also an astronomer and a mathematician. He helped rebuild London after a major disaster. He was known for blending classical and Baroque styles. He designed over 50 churches, reshaping the skyline of London. His most famous work is St. Paul's Cathedral, built after the Great Fire of London in 1666. The word, doctor! You guys got this one. Yay. Good job. Christopher Wren, 1632 to 1723. Wren's design for St. Paul survived a World War II bombing, remaining a symbol of resilience in London. That was nice of the Nazis not to knock that down, huh? What do you know? Christopher Wren. These are kind of hard, huh? Sorry, I won't go back to the architects. This is our last visit with architects. Okay. Who's next? Number 7. Christopher Wren. You guys got Christopher Wren. Yay. Give yourself a round of applause. Let's see you get this one. This gentleman was the leader of the neoclassical movement in Germany. He also dabbled in set design and painting, influencing his architectural style. His works emphasize grandeur, symmetry, and historical references. He designed many famous buildings in Berlin, including museums and theaters. His masterpiece, the Altes Museum, is considered one of the greatest neoclassical structures ever built. Okay, so there's the setup. There's the setup. Greatest classical building ever built in Germany. Nobody knows. This is Mr. Carl Friedrich Schinkel. Carl Friedrich Schinkel. 1781 to 1841. Schinkel's vision influenced the design of modern government buildings across Europe. This is the original. There you go. You had it. You knew it. Stuart. Good job. Excellent. In case you've just joined us, we are counting down famous architects around the world through history. And we're doing the top 10. We got another Brit. This gentleman introduced a new architectural style in England. His works were heavily inspired by Andrea Palladio. So this is the guy who kind of used Palladio designs and built them throughout England. He designed one of England's most famous banquet halls. His buildings introduced classical elements like domes and columns to Britain. His most famous work, the Banqueting House in Whitehall, is a prime example of Palladian architecture in England. So this is the guy that brought Palladian architecture to England. He was also a stage designer, bringing a dramatic sense of grandeur to his buildings. There you go. Any other architects ring a bell from way back in the day in England? This guy, and I actually did not know this one, so I don't blame you guys. If I didn't know it, you're not going to know it. This guy's name was Inigo Jones. I-N-I-G-O. How about that for a name? Inigo Jones. 1573 to 1652. Inigo Jones was also a stage designer. I told you that. There he is. And a redhead. There you go. All right, top 5. Now, you might know this name. He was an ancient Roman architect and engineer. His writings influenced architecture for 2,000 years. He believed buildings should have 3 key qualities: firmitas, utilitas, and venustas, which means strength, utility, and beauty. His book, De Architectura, became the foundation for classical architecture. His ideas inspired Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, one of the most famous drawings in history. So Leonardo kind of stole the Vitruvian Man from this guy, which, that's kind of a clue. Vitruvian Man. Who is this? This is the Roman architect. This is the guy. This is the main guy for architects for 2,000 years. This guy's name was Vitruvius, hence the Vitruvian Man. And he lived in 80 to 15 BCE. He was a BC guy. A BC guy. All right, well, let's switch gears to another part of the world. During the Islamic heyday, he was a chief architect of one of the largest empires in history. He designed over 300 structures, including mosques and palaces. His work combined Islamic, Byzantine, and classical elements. His greatest masterpiece was built in Edirne. I'm not saying that right. Edirne. Anyway, Edirne, Turkey. Somebody knows how to say that, I'm sure. Anyway, it's called the Suleimani Mosque. And anyway, it was the one that basically was the basis for the bigger one later on, Hagia Sophia. Anyway, this guy's name was... I don't blame you for not knowing. This guy's name was Sinan. He has one name, kind of like Madonna, but this guy's name is Sinan. Kind of like Dua Lipa. Oh, I guess Dua Lipa has two names. Sinan. Sinan lived to be 100 years old, and he designed masterpieces well into his 90s. All right, next up, you may know this architect's name. A Renaissance polymath, excelling in architecture, painting, and philosophy. He wrote one of the most important books on architecture, defining classical principles. His buildings balance beauty, mathematics, functionality. His influence can be seen in churches, palaces, and civic buildings across Italy. One of his masterpieces was Sant Andrea in Mantua. He pioneered Renaissance architectural harmony. You might know a big Renaissance architect. Somebody can throw a big Renaissance architect out there. This guy designed a bunch of the Renaissance stuff. His name is Leon Battista Alberti. Leon Battista Alberti. 1404 to 1472. Alberti believed architecture was a science as much as an art, blending philosophy with engineering. Now, I know these have been hard. But the last two, I think you can get. So let's pay attention to the last two, okay? Because you're going to get the last two. Hang on to that answer, Doctor. That was Alberti. Now, this guy was the first known architect in history. 2650 BCE. He was also a priest, a doctor, and an advisor to the pharaoh. His greatest work paved the way for all future pyramids. He designed the first known monumental stone structure in history. He's the guy that created the step pyramid at Dodo, the earliest pyramid in Egypt. I think you know this one, though. Yeah, they've been difficult, but you know this one. Egyptian architect. First known architect in history. Step pyramid of Dodo. Anybody know? Egyptian architect. Going once. Oh, the good guess, Doctor. Cheops. Incorrect. Actually, I think you know this. His name is Imhotep. Sound familiar? Imhotep, 2650 BCE. Imhotep was later worshipped as a god, one of the few non-royal Egyptians to receive that honor. All right, last one. And you know this one too. I can't believe you didn't get that one. I can't believe it. This gentleman was a master of many arts, including sculpture, painting, and architecture. His greatest architectural achievement was built in Rome. He was commissioned to design one of the most iconic domes in history. Oh, okay, Stuart. You got it. See, they're easy. I don't know. This is one where it gets a little skewed because this is something I know, and so I think maybe somebody knows some of these. And if you don't, you're learning something, but it's a little too hard, especially compared to the animated films, right? That's right. This is Michelangelo, who designed the St. Peter's Basilica dome, right? Michelangelo initially did not want to be the architect, but his skills were so extraordinary that he was given the largest project of its time, whether he wanted it or not. His work influenced both Renaissance and Baroque period architecture. There he is, Mr. Michelangelo. Michelangelo. All right. Well, gosh. So I know you like the only 10 item rounds on the ones that are so hard. Is there a general feel? Do you guys like 10 item rounds or 20 item rounds? Or do you prefer the 20s? I know you like it easy, a little bit easier. That would be good. 20 or 10? 20 or 10? What do you guys think? Anyway, I don't think we're gonna do the bonus round tonight, guys. If you're hanging around for that, I apologize. I'm worn out from how hard those were. I imagine you guys are too. Oh, you only got it because I said it was coming up. You didn't know it anyway. I think you knew it anyway. Uh, anyway, so no input on the 20 versus 10 item rounds. The last two were only 10 items. I know they were harder, but do you like 10 or 20? You like 20 no matter what anyway? Okay. Well, that's cool. I am going to try to mix it in for a few weeks. I'll try to do a few 20s and a few 10s just to kind of mix it up a little bit. And I might do a couple little true false quizzes mixed in maybe. I don't know if you guys like that or not. They might be hard because you might not know the subject matter. If you didn't watch my videos, you might not know the subject matter for the true false quiz. So these work better, that it's a picture in front of you, plus I'm slowly giving you clues. So it tends to work whether you know the subject or not, and you have at least a chance. So this format doesn't work too bad anyway. Oh, but you like mixing it up too? Okay. Well, we'll try to mix it up a little bit. We'll create more of a variety show moving forward. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. I do appreciate you hanging out and playing the game with me as always. And I'll certainly be back on a week from today. And I don't know. I'm going to figure out some other live thing. Maybe it's a very similar show. Maybe it's something different. Maybe it's more history news or something. I don't know what I'm going to do. What about Wednesdays? I know. You want Wednesday. Once a week is not enough. I agree. I don't know. I got to figure out how to pace myself so that Wednesday works as well. I'll try to get Wednesdays coming back again. I will. Not this week. It won't happen this week, but it's possible the next week we'll do it on Wednesday as well. So I appreciate that you like it. I do. All right, guys. Well, take it easy. I'm going to throw my intro back up on the screen and say goodnight and have a good one. We'll see you for sure next week.